talk about, which is called Plastic Bank. And I think that's a brilliant example of actually solving a really big problem. And if you look at Plastic Bank, the problem that it's solving is actually poverty. Because if you look at the amount of plastic which ends up in the ocean, it flows down rivers and collects on beaches where in developing nations. Where there are many poor people. And what the Plastic Bank has done is it's come up with a model which says, well, okay, if I use a blockchain, what I can do is I can incentivize the locals to collect the plastic, take it to a collection center, earn a credit, which can be recorded on an account on a smartphone, which could be owned by the center or ultimately by themselves. But what's really interesting here is that provenance which you're creating on the blockchain is not only useful for the consumer products company that's using that plastic for creating shampoo bottles, it also creates identity. And you're now starting to get identity of somebody who doesn't have a national insurance number, doesn't have an address, doesn't have any identifiable objects. Identity.
Do you relate to identity as Christian talks about digital dust?
Oh, well, actually no, because here what we're doing is we're creating an ability where the Plastic Bank can now create credit. It can lend money to these individuals simply based on their track record of collecting and bringing their friends into the network and growing the network. So you create a reputation, a pseudo-anonymous reputation, and then lend against it. And I think that's one of the most wonderful examples about bringing banking services to the unbanked. So as they collect more bottles, they can be awarded their own phone. They can build up credits as tokens on their account. They can take this to any number of retailers that accept this in the area and buy subsidized rice, buy subsidized oil, various products for the house. But more importantly, they can borrow against it. And there's one wonderful example of somebody who has borrowed against it and has created a business where they are literally 3D printing those recycled plastic on site and building houses out of plastic bricks on site. And this has been built in Haiti, which was completely destroyed by storms. So you have a complete desolation. The only asset you've got is rubbish. And yet here you have an entrepreneur with nothing other than rubbish and a smartphone. And the smartphone is probably in the center at this stage, has now created a business to build houses out of bricks. And I just think that's the most amazing example of this technology.
Yeah, it is. Eliana,